Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one.
Welcome to episode 17 of Aldog's Family Newsletter. What's up? I said I would do quicker, and I did. So here I am. Look, first of all, shout out to this jersey, Kobe. Now, do I think about Kobe randomly all the time? Yes. Do I know why? Not really.
What the does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
NBA playoffs are on right now, and I just thought I would wear something just to think about him. You know, sometimes this season there's been a lot of sort of inspirational storylines and sound clips.
Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure.
That was one of the most valuable to me post-game bites you'll ever hear, because it makes you think and it makes you kind of process and say, okay, how do we define what failure is? And I thought his perspective was just, it was a breath of fresh air.
So yeah, Kobe, I think about him all the time. Baby news, not much since last time, but let me tell you this. The other day, he stayed over at my parents' place and he'll do sleepovers every couple of weeks. The day after, I go to pick him up and he said, let's go home. And he doesn't want to come home. Ungrateful little boy. So he did 2 nights. He did 2 nights in a row. Literally said, I don't want to go with you. I'm staying here at grandma's place. And so a little bit hurtful, but that's all good. He's definitely getting more, opinionated now. I think I might have said this before, but sometimes we'll be on our phones, like sitting in the living room and he's playing, and he'll come over and say, no, put your phones away. He won't say it like that, but he'll be like, no, put your phones away and come play with me. Very needy little kid. This is going to be a rant episode, and actually, let me get the thumbnail out of the way real quick. Actually, no. There you go, thumbnail. First of all, I gotta set the scene. When you're on the MTR in Hong Kong, everyone knows that the seats, that there are good seats and bad seats, right? So the best seats are the ones on the edges because you get the glass and then no one sits on your side, right? The second best seats are the 2 seats in the middle with the pole. So kind of, you've got a little bit of a barrier, right? And obviously the worst seats are the ones in between that, because then you're in between 2 meat bags. Anyway, when I get on the MTR, most of the time, I end up getting the seat in the middle. This one day, and first let me say, I am not a proponent. People nowadays will just whip out their phones and start recording people, dox them. I think about doing that all the time, but I'm like, don't do that. That's kind of rude. Back to setting the scene. So I'm on the MTR and I'm sitting on the middle seat with the pole to my left. And first of all, look, if you didn't already know, I'm a big guy, relatively speaking, right? 6'1", maybe 200 pounds on a good day, I guess. A little bit of body dysmorphia, but I am conscious of that, and I try to make myself as small as possible. I'm always like hunched over, legs clipped. So much so sometimes when I get off the MTR, my body's actually exhausted. So there I am trying to make myself as small as possible. So there I am sitting and I'm being very polite and I'm trying to mind my own business. And normally I've got my head down and I'm watching my television or whatever, my Netflix. I mean, obviously, I'll look down because sometimes when people come on the MTR, you don't know whether you need to give them a seat, right? So yeah, I could be a better person, get up and, offer my seat more. But most of the time I'm just head down, I mind my own business. If it's really obvious, I'll, okay, fine, I'm a bad person. But this guy gets on, and he's a big guy. And first of all, let me say, I'm 99.9% sure he was a normal person. And I don't mean normal like this abnormal. I mean, he was just a regular bloke off the street, right? Nothing, he was good. He's good. He's fine. First of all, crowded already. He goes straight to man spread. Now, this guy's chunky, okay? So he's spread out. I'm self-conscious myself. So often when I sit on the MTR and people move away from me, I go like, is that me? Do I smell or whatever? This guy obviously didn't care because he sits down and I'm taken out of my TV show because I'm like, what the hell is that smell? Anyway, fine. People smell, that's fine, dude. Okay? He goes to spread himself and then he goes to hold the handrail like this. So I'm already up on the thing. And then he comes in like this, up on the rail. That's not even the worst part, guys. He then finishes, I guess, drying his armpit, pulls out his phone, the Chinese TikTok, whatever, Douyin, full blast. I'm talking about everyone staring at him. He doesn't care. He's lost to the world just watching his crappy little, I said I wouldn't do it, but here he is doing it.
Please stand back from the train doors.
And I couldn't believe myself. I couldn't believe it because I was like, there's no way that I'm actually witnessing this. The trifecta of coming in, man spreading, smelling bad, maybe that's not his fault, glandular, whatever. And then with the music on the phone, that's it, dude. I'm putting you on blast. So I said, it's going to be a rant episode. There's something that, again, this is going to be divisive, but I've noticed that there's this wave of nostalgic finishing on content. Jack Hoppus, Mark Hoppus' son, the bassist for Blink-182. He did a vlog for Coachella. Now, Blink-182 played Coachella, headlined it twice this year. Awesome. You know, Jack Hoppus, great. Watch his vlog, see the behind the scenes and stuff. 2023, Jack Hoppus has the nerve to have a full-sized handycam. Quality of the video, terrible. Sound, inaudible. Really, what are you giving us? I mean, give us something or don't. Man, I thought we could watch like some behind the scenes and, you know, but no, it's just some grainy. Jack Hoppus, you were like 3 or whatever when the handycams were. Use what's new to you now. Why you gotta go? That's not even your nostalgia. And I'm not claiming, you know, you can't do this and that, but I mean, you know, get with the times, guys. And okay, great, is a lot of thirst traps do it. They'll have the iPhone 18 or whatever it is, right? Like the highest quality camera you have. But you know what they'll do? They'll take a photo of the photo that they took on their laptop webcam. So it's not even the photo the webcam took, it's a photo of the screen that bruh. So that's more probably relatable because I follow like designers on Twitter, and there's this one guy who will design, you know, a poster or whatever, graphics, print it, scan it back in, and say that's better than the original. Do it in post. Fake nostalgia is bad. If it's real nostalgia, love it. If it's manufactured and fake, I can sense it from a mile away and I don't buy it. Talking about nostalgia though, 2 recommendations this week. The first one is Post Malone. Man, he did a live concert. It wasn't that long ago in Australia. I mean, this guy can perform, man. Like this, I must have watched this like 3 or 4 times just by himself on stage. I'll link it down below. And another one, Fall Out Boy. New album. I'm very appreciative of a new album. I mean, unexpected, a lot of bangers on the album, maybe too much poetry. Sing it, right? Don't be reading poetry, but yeah, it just brought me way back. Fall Out Boy album, 10 Fall Out Boys out of 10. So that's it. If you didn't like this jersey, man, educate yourself. Kobe for life. And I'll see you next episode.
The reason why I thought it was profound and everyone's like, oh, talk to kids. No, there's all these self-help books for adults because most people don't singularly have the ability to change what happens. So then they get depressed. They get all of these things when they don't understand that there are steps to the process. And sometimes losing is part of the process. And when you lose, sometimes you win, because you gain valuable knowledge, and sometimes when you win, you actually hurt yourself because you think you're doing things correctly. And so what Giannis was putting into context, what I thought was not for young kids in basketball. It wasn't for to show to your kids in the AAU. It was to talk to adults, how they look at their life. He talked to the man, how he looked at his life, and saying that there are steps, and when you are a champion, that's championship talk. When you are a champion, you are going to take steps in it. And in those steps, sometimes you don't meet it because you singularly can't do it. But did you meet the requirements? If we lose an Emmy this year, did we meet the requirements? Hell yeah. We're the funniest show on TV. We're the most informative show on television. Do we come in and know our note? Does Ernie understand everything that was going on? Our producers are great. Our cameraman and Alex produce all it. If we lose, it's a subjective thought. So if you take that subjective thought and you want that, you are a failure.
Yeah.
Dude, I put in more work than anybody.
No, he's talking to business folks, he's talking to parents, he's talking to people in every role of life. And I think that there are some people out there who are dealing with things
100%.
where there are like mental health issues because they don't feel worthy, because they feel like they have failed. And a lot of that comes from the burden of expectation, and it comes from comparison. Oh, if he's doing this or she's doing this and I'm right here, I must be a failure, and that's not it, because for some people the steps are smaller, the progress is more gradual, and so I think it was.
Now I understand why he plays that.
Really.